Okay, hey everybody, take two of Guards Counterattack, Scenario A in ASL or Scenario 1 in Squad Leader. I gave it another go. I wanted to it was already here, kind of set up. It's a small scenario. So I started by watching Neil Euland's playthrough just to kind of see different strategies and stuff. And his first video is an hour and a half, and I noticed his subsequent ones, each turn was about an hour and a half or so. And I thought, you know what? I don't know if I wanted, it was great though. So thank you, Neil, for doing it. So I followed every move exactly in his roles. I didn't like do any. So it was like basically reading a replay and just doing all the stuff to see what he did, looking up the rules, just seeing the rules discussions he had and all that stuff. And seeing maybe if there's things that Rich and I missed when we played it. But this was a close run one. And Jeff, Hex to Hex, was watching me play. And there were two times I was like, as the Germans, like, I think they're done. And he said, keep going. So I did. And I'm glad I did, because it did go down to the last turn, the last melee, because I kept going. And they could have possibly won it, but they did not. They needed an 8 to win or something like that. It was, I don't remember the numbers, but needed a very high number. I rolled an 11, and these guys rolled a 12, or not a 12, but they rolled something else. No, they did not roll 12. They rolled a 10 or something, whatever they rolled, so they were stuck in melee. So the Russians still own that building. So ultimately, Russians win with two buildings owned, this building and this building. Almost like when I played Rich. When I played Rich, I was super conservative with the Russians, and I really should have pushed them further along, because I could have possibly broken his side here and actually took a second building easier than what happened. Instead, I broke a lot of his dudes. That's how that one basically ended up. It's like eventually I would have got around. But what I should have been doing was pushing harder, because things like this happen where, the Germans were super broken about turn 3, maybe 2, maybe turn 3. The Germans were just broken all over the place. They all rallied up. So a couple things. So as I was saying, the Russians, I was too conservative there. I might have been too conservative with the Germans, because the Russians took this pretty early, and I was trying to take it back. I didn't want to lose this building because the Russians were pushing on that. So I was being a little there, but maybe these guys should have gone. But I did not want to leave this building, because if I went over here, actually, now that I'm sitting there talking about it and stumbling through it with you, I don't think I had the power on this side to take that building in, because there were 3 different dudes in there. That 10-2 leader wounded, and then I think, did he go down? And then I had a hero's break. I had a hero's created in the German side. But anyway, basically it ended up as this. The Russians came in. They didn't need this building, but I wanted to take it in case this one fell. So they came in here, and in the last turn, I think that was the right move, to wait for the last turn to do it. But in their movement, they just broke and like crazy. And one guy went in there, and he actually took that top floor, but there's still this whole stack of guys on the bottom. And they shot up there with like 20, and he rolled like a 3 on his morale. So it was like, what? 2 morale check or some crazy thing like that. It's prep fire, baby. So that was cool doing that. He did the human wave in the first turn. Well, actually, that's what's interesting. Neil's human wave was terrible. They just were, broken guys all over the place. You can see the Russians just broke, and they're just pretty much stuck. Once they break, they're pretty much done. I was able to rally a few of the 628s. But compared to my human wave, because my human wave got me in there and took that building quick. This took a couple turns to get in. That was interesting. I was trying to take this building as the Germans. This guys kept breaking. Heroes created. So in turn 3, that's what this note is. The snipers were getting activated like crazy, and the Russians were rolling. So in turn 3, 2 Russian snipers activated. Both rolled 1s. Both rolled ties on the rolls for counters in the hex. So there are leaders. So when you roll a tie with a sniper, they're both impacted. So that was pretty crazy. And that happened twice in the same turn. And then on the German turn, I don't know if it was the German turn, but 2 German snipers were activated. They rolled 2s in the same hex, pins, wounds, and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think necessarily. Maybe I had the same exact thing happen where they rolled pairs to break or pin everybody. Anyway, that was crazy sniper action. So the Germans came up here. I finally tried to use smoke like they suggested in MMP, We're Not Dead Yet. I'm like, use your smoke. Failed, as per usual, so much so that these guys got stuck there. I think they might pin, but I need to look at that. When I skimmed it, I didn't see pin, but I thought I'd been told they pin if you roll it, or maybe you just stop movement. So that sucked. That was my start. Oh, no, I did get smoked successfully, and the 2 helped him when he fired on these guys. And then this guy battle hardened. Oh, yeah, that's why this game is so fun. So he broke out of this build. They came out of here. They did smoke. They moved in here. He took his shots. His first shot was like, the Germans in that last turn on their opportunity rolls and stuff, they were rolling, I think, 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 5s. I mean, it was crazy. They were rolling super low. He rolled low. He battle hardened. And I think he went to 9-2. I just did that. I don't know if from 9-1 goes to 10-1 or a 9-1 goes to a 9-2. I took it to a 9-2. But I think his morale actually goes up. So he probably should have been a 10-1, I'm guessing. But I didn't do that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Although, I don't think, that's interesting. I don't think it would have mattered in that. The melee they almost got, I'm sorry, the ambush they almost got, but this guy was CX, so it took it back. So it was like, oh, that ambush would have helped him too. So that was cool. So like they come across the street, they smoke, because they said use smoke, the winners use smoke. So I used it 3 times and 2 failed and 1 got it. So they smoked, got it, battle hardened, they got more of a leader, and they went in there. And this guy was a commissar. I think that's one thing Rich and I might have done wrong. Reading the rules, I know why we did it the way we did, but then watching Neil, so I'm kind of curious if all 9 O's are commissars. And you can upgrade 8 1s and some 9 1s, I think. It's a little confusing. But I thought, well, yeah, 9-0, so he's a commissar. Anyway, I had Berserk. Do I have a Berserk? Yes, I had a Berserk. I had a hero on a leader. Wounds to leaders, to a hero, wound to a leader. Lots of stuff going on here. Really cool. I think Rich and I are done with ASL probably for the year, because he and I are going to hit GCACW, the campaign. But this gives me my 20th session. So I was trying to get 20 sessions. I counted a session like 30 minutes or more of playing, a game. And I had 3 games, ASL, GCACW, and GTS that I was trying to do that with to get more time in the games. And I hit this is my 20th session of, so this game took me 3 sessions. It took me, 4 hours to play. And I don't remember how many different scenarios. I'm trying to think of how I counted this. I think I'm going to count this as a different scenario because I played the scenario again. So that's really cool. So this is the most ASL I've ever played in a year. So thank you, Rich, for that. I'm tempted to now go to scenario B and play the next one in this. No, I think what I'm actually going to do, there's a list of scenarios that many people suggest for this. This is really a good training scenario, and I think this is better than fighting withdrawal. It's a lot simpler. What you need to do, that fighting withdrawal is a very tough thing to do. And the Finns have all that special morale stuff. So I think this is a better scenario for learning, and I would recommend it. So the Guards Counterattack Scenario A, ASL, I think 9 minutes is enough of me just getting all goofy. Oh yeah, this little note here. Oh, you can't see this, but I did have a note. I think my Germans tried 1 turn too early to go for this. I think I just kind of should have waited a turn, especially since I played all the way to the end. All right, that is that. Thanks all. Have a great ASL. Roll dice.